All right, we'll call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, everyone. First item on the agenda this evening is swearing in our new Police Deputy Chief, Adam Dunning. Start it off, or Bill?
I'll just say a few words and then give it over to the chief. So we are privileged to witness the swearing in of our next police deputy chief here in Horsham, Adam Dunning. Adam's been with the township total about 25 years and has worked his way up through the different, in the police department. I believe he's been a police officer for about 23 years. Before that, he was a police dispatcher. But Adam has been a very dedicated, committed employee of the township. He really cares about the township, cares about the department greatly, has been in many different roles in the township, in the police department, and he really cares when everything is going on. He's been working here long enough that we used to have air shows, and occasionally, unfortunately, we would have crashes at the air shows. And you never had to call Adam saying, hey, can you come in, or hey, we need you. As soon as he heard something happening in Horsham, he would just head to the township. So he's been, as I said, a very great employee of the township. So this promotion is definitely well deserved. And I'll pass it over to the chief.
Sure, we're working over here. Can you hear? We had this at dress rehearsal. Okay. Yeah, so it's an exciting night indeed. I feel like we were just up here doing this not that long ago, but it's been over a year. But before I go any further, I want to thank the men and women of council, right? So you always allow us to interrupt your meeting, celebrate these accomplishments, and I appreciate that again tonight. So a little bit about Adam, as Mr. Walker said. He came to us in 1997 as a dispatcher, was promoted to police officer in 2000. And I think I mentioned this before when he made lieutenant. Adam is one of those few people that have reached the command level who have worked in every single division in our department. So that includes our patrol division, our highway safety division. He was a detective. He ran the criminal investigations division as a detective sergeant prior to being promoted to lieutenant. And now here we are as deputy chief. Adam heads our Office of Professional Standards, or quality control, as our accreditation manager, in addition to a million other things that, honestly, I could take 2 hours of your time going through the list of things that Adam does for us. But he is a huge asset. He has had his hand in just about everything you could think of in our department. So as Mr. Walker mentioned, tonight's promotion is more than well deserved. Yeah, somebody's going to hold the Bible.
You're going to need this.
All right, repeat after me. I, Adam M. Dunning,
I, Adam M. Dunning,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
that I will enforce the laws of this Commonwealth
that I will enforce the laws of this Commonwealth
and of Horsham Township,
and of Horsham Township,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of Deputy Chief of Police
of Deputy Chief of Police
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
I do further swear
I do further swear,
that I will
uphold,
obey,
obey,
and enforce
and enforce
the law without consideration
the law without consideration
to a person's race,
to a person's race,
color,
color,
sex,
sex,
religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age, national origin,
national origin,
ancestry,
ancestry,
handicap, or disability.
handicap, or disability.
Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you.
You all can be
Don't go anywhere, Adam. Congratulations, sir. You're well deserved. Well deserved. Anybody in the audience have anything to say? Always give an opportunity just in case. All right, good. We're going to do some pictures. You want to come on up?
One more. One, two, three.
All right. Next item is an opportunity for question or comments from the public. Anybody? Okey doke. Approval of minutes. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Treasury report, Bill?
The balance in the general fund as of December 31st, 2022, and thus the balance carried over into 2023 is $4,679,300.22. In 2022, we did transfer $1,356,523 to the Capital Improvement Fund. These funds will be spent on scheduled capital projects. Our budget has been significantly affected by the pandemic. The primary revenue affected is the earned income tax and local services tax. With the economic uncertainty this year, we will continue to take a strong conservative approach to the budget. For a more detailed presentation of our current financial position, I would refer you to your monthly booklet.
Thank you, Bill. We have three motions.
I move to ratify the list of checks in the general fund and in the street light/fire hydrant fund in the amount of $16,130.37, and further move to authorize payment of the same. Also, I move to approve the list of checks in all funds in the amount of $492,033.78, and further move to authorize payment of the same. And finally, I move to ratify the U.S. Bank credit card transactions for the month of December 2022 in the amount of $18,795.19.
Second.
Moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, next is reviewing subdivision land development. We have one on the docket tonight for a Chick-fil-A.
Yes, we do, and the applicant is present this evening. Chick-fil-A, as we all know, is out on Walsh Road, and they are looking to add a second drive-through, and I will turn it over to them to introduce themselves and present their application to you. Whoop, let me get plugged in here, too. Thanks, Dennis. You can introduce yourself.
You got to get kind of close. Is the green light on?
Yep.
Yeah. Can you hear me? No?
No,
Closer?
I get to switch
Can you hear
over
me?
because...
Hold on a minute. What's going on here?
Testing?
Is this your first time? It's not on mute.
Oh, no.
There you go.
There we go.
All right.
Success. Okay. Good evening. My name's Julie Bernstein. I'm an associate with Kaplan Stewart, and we represent Chick-fil-A, Inc. As was just mentioned, we're here tonight to present the preliminary final land development plan to upgrade the current Chick-fil-A site that's located at 134 Welsh Road, to provide 2 drive-through lanes, but really the goal is to move off-site traffic and queuing on-site so that everyone can move through more efficiently, and the backlog for how popular Chick-fil-A is doesn't impact the neighboring sites. I'm here tonight with Nick Lewis on my left from Bowler Engineering, Jim Curry from JLL is at the end, and then Jim Krell, who is our operator of Chick-fil-A. They're here to answer more specific questions, but I'm just going to walk you guys through what's there now and what's proposed, and then I'll hand it off to you guys. Obviously, chime in if you have any questions along the way. But so as you can see here, this is the existing conditions plan. There are basically 2 entrances that you can get onto the property. One is to the south, which is at the bottom of the page. If you move the little cursor to the left, you would go in, you would drive in, and then go through there, yep, where this cursor is. But if you go north and then take a left before you exit, there's an entrance. So where the dots are, there's 4 spaces, and then that would be the entrance, right to the left of there. That's the entrance of the drive-through. So it's currently a single lane. And then it splits into 2 lanes as an operating, and then goes through this kind of curved area that's darker, that runs around the front of the store, and then you can exit out that way. So again, this is creating a lot of sort of backlog and queuing on the property as it currently stands. So the proposal is, or actually, hold on, before we move to the next site, just in the northeast corner, I believe, it's the upper right-hand corner, right there, yeah. So that's a secondary entrance to the property. It kind of connects this property to what is a Chase Bank. It's an internal pass-through. That's right there, just so that you understand what's going on.
Yeah, so this is, just to also help council too, this is Welsh Road. So if you're going westbound on Welsh, you can make a right turn in only, coming down this way, and the Chase Bank's over here, the Wawa's over here, and you can come down this way. Currently, between the Chase Bank, you can come in this way to the site, go this way, and into the drive-through, you go. That's.
Thank you, that was very helpful. And
I have 2 young kids that go there frequently, that want to go there frequently.
so you
Very
know.
familiar with it.
There is parking also just kind of to the north, that's in the Chase field, that you can kind of see in there. That's all designated to Chase Bank, so we would require any kind of approval from Chase to take or change anything up there, just for your understanding, since it's on the plan.
Let me take you to what you're proposing.
So, as you can see here, the goal is to extend and expand the drive-through. So where the entrance is pulled back, kind of how you would come through from sort of that Chase entrance. You can see if you went in from the Chase entrance and then immediately took a right, you would enter into the drive-through, and it starts out as a dual stacking lane. So there is a lot more stacking that's going on here. And then it will continue and wrap around the store. In order to do this, there are a couple of spaces. There were 4 spaces right around where the pointer is that are going to be removed. And then the other change to spaces is there are spaces where the pointer is currently. Those are being restriped. They were parallel before, but they're going to be placed on a diagonal to avoid any kind of conflicts going on here. And it does reduce the parking slightly, but it's still all in compliance with the code. But just so you understand what those changes are. But again, the goal was to expand, lengthen, get the traffic off of the surrounding properties so that it can sit here and then hopefully sit for a lot less time, because it will be able to move through much faster with 2 lanes. And with that, if you guys have any questions for me or the other members.
Maybe you can talk about the
Yeah.
design first and then go to the review letters.
Yeah, that's fine. So, I guess the first question I have is, also being a Chick-fil-A fan, go there often, and it is a problem. We all know that. It is an issue with the stacking. But when you come in that entrance and you make a right, you're in the drive-through, and that's it. You're stuck there, right?
Yes, so I can answer that, yes, absolutely.
So you know my
right now-
question, right?
Huh?
You know my question.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but.
No, that's okay, because my question is, what are you doing signage-wise? How are you going to make sure that people don't get confused because what they're used to now versus, yeah.
Yeah, so the intent is, yes, there'll be a full signage package. We use Clayton Signs. We're getting ready to actually engage them. We haven't hired a contractor yet. We're waiting on this vote. We'll bring them in. We'll bring the signage folks. So what makes this different is we're going to isolate in dining room and drive-through guests. The customers, guests that come in to dine inside or pick up orders will come from the Wawa side, and the customers from the drive-through will come on the Chase Bank side. So my background, again, I'm Jim Curry with JLL. I work in the custom project solution. I'm a full-time consultant. All I do right now, my entire life, is helping Chick-fil-A just because of COVID. As you can imagine, the percentage of drive-through customers versus in dining customers completely flipped with COVID. We don't ever expect that to go back ever. The percentages that we see are probably going to stay flipped. So what we are doing is, we would never build a Chick-fil-A like we built Jim's. Sorry, buddy. We typically, number one, we want to isolate drive-through from customers. We don't want our guests walking across drive-through lanes. This accomplishes that. We want to give the operators much flexibility in customer delivery by giving them 2 lanes all the way around. He can use the outer lane for mobile, inside lane for normal. He can go 2 to 1 to 2. There's all sorts of methodologies here. But again, what we're trying to do is increase the queue. We've increased the queue by about 60% as far as the number of cars. And Jim will also get faster with this. We've got a Tormax door project that's going to be part of this. It's not part of this this permit, but we're going after a building permit to give him a different style of door to increase speed. But to answer the original question, is we are isolating drive-through from in-dining, and yes, that's going to take a lot of signs. The advantage that we have is Jim's guests are mostly repeat. We have more so than most QSR, quick serve restaurants, we can teach our guests the new way of doing things, a lot of repeat customers. So yes, there'll be signage. But yes, it will be obvious with delineators that once you pull in there, it's going to be obvious, yeah, you're in drive-through. Likewise, it would be obvious if you pull in the south entrance and come in on the Wawa side, you cannot get to the drive-through. Well, you're going to drive around and go around and get in the drive-through, but you're only going to do that once. And even that is not really going to take, we're really trying to keep traffic off of Wells Road. That's the ultimate goal. And we also are trying to help our brothers at Chase Bank by keeping them off their property. All of this helps execute those goals. That was a long answer to a short
What are
question.
the, when you say the delineators, and I see them on the map, there are all these dots that
Yes.
come around here. What exactly, what is that?
Those are magnetic sticks. So basically, we put a metal base plate in the pavement. Took Chick-fil-A a couple years to realize that up in the Northeast, they have these things called snow plows that would peel these up. We've learned to recess them. We're about 5 feet on center. We've learned that we can probably go 6, or we don't want a bunch of white. They're the white sticks, but they're on magnets. So you can actually, anybody can just go up and pull one off. And we want to give him some flexibility. If we find out that we're not getting the stacking, and it's okay for people to enter the drive-through, even from the Wawa side, Jim has the ability to take out all those dots that he sees fit, because they're just attached by magnets.
But people will do that, right?
Oh, yes.
And then they're going to get, how do I get into that? Nah, I got to go back out again.
Jim will have some guests that are going to flat out run over those things. But that's why they're magnetic and bendable and replaceable.
That's what I was going to ask. So, like, are they made to be occasionally hit and then they bounce back up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sort of like the ones on the roads that PennDOT
Yes.
uses,
Yes.
the yellow and white ones.
Right, and luckily ours, yeah. The ones on the road get hit at 50 miles an hour. Hopefully, they're not going
Yeah.
50. But we do have guests that probably are going 50.
This location here, just out of curiosity, this location, this restaurant here, what is your percentage of dine-in versus drive-through?
We can't really share that, but I will tell you nationwide, we've seen the percentage go from 55 to 70 flip-flopped. It used to be 75, say 55 to 70% in dining or dining inside.
Okay.
And we've seen that it's now 55 to 70%. I haven't looked at his numbers that much. It's just a lesson learned nationwide that those numbers are just completely flipped.
Are you going to, if this gets approved, are you going to keep the drive-through open as you construct?
Yes, good, excellent question. So, for Jim's sake, we will have to close Jim's store down for 3 days to do the door. So interestingly enough, I can do all that without closing the store down, but I have to close the store down for 3 days to do the
They
door.
being the Sunday?
So when we say it, so when I say he closes for 3 days, that means we're taking 4 days to build. I haven't reviewed your local noise ordinances, but we we will follow those faithfully. It's part of our commitment to the community that, yes, luckily we don't have houses nearby here, but I'm sure there's still some noise ordinances. But our contractors, again, I'm really good at long answers for short questions. We have a select group of contractors that we use. We don't put these out for bid to anybody. And here it's Pennsylvania Construction Associates, East Coast Construction, Max Build. We have a very select group. They know how to work. They'll work with Jim to keep them up and running. He'll see a drop in sales because
And
it's
everyone's
just-
safe.
Sorry. Yes, absolutely. I'm more worried about the staff is our number one concern, but obviously everybody's safety. But for construction, it's just cars that are dealing with, so they're a lot safer inside. But we do keep them isolated from, if it's a curb drop, because we had to take out some concrete and dig to put more concrete in, we'll use Jersey barriers. We don't use cones for that because we call those targets, as you can imagine. But we can use cones to guide people, but not to prevent damage. A car driving onto wet concrete or off of a 6-inch curb because we have to dig down to get some pavement in. We'll use a lot of fencing. We'll have signage saying, the store's still open, but still he'll see a slight drop during construction because, as you can imagine, you get customers that just see fences and white vests and hard hats and just say, oh, they're closed, and move on. But
Where does takeout park? You said they're going to be in the drive-through queue, or are they going to be?
no, they're all the way, basically, that entire parking lot. If you're talking about curbside delivery, or I think, Jim, you have that turned off right now?
I have it turned off.
But third party, he does have third-party delivery like DoorDash.
Okay.
But people will park anywhere in that entire parking lot is for people to go into the store and pick up, either dine inside or pick up food.
Okay, so you don't allocate spots for those orders?
No, not at this time. Just with staffing and things of that nature still. We offer dine-in, carry-out, drive-through, mobile, and third-party at this time.
Okay, thanks.
And we have, it's Chick-fil-A corporate, we have a stack of signs that we'll send at his request to take care of that. So if he decides to turn on curbside delivery or a certain thing, we'll send him a bunch of signs and we'll put them in the parking lot. But right now, we don't have that.
So what do we got to review tonight?
You need to go through the review letters of what will comply and what waivers, or what you're asking waivers
Yes, if
from.
you guys want to go through point by point.
Yeah, if you would.
that's- Okay, so.
No, we don't have to go through.
They don't have any waivers. Usually they go through the
Waiver.
waivers point by point, but if the review letter, if everything's a will comply, you just,
Everything's will comply.
No, there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
or it didn't appear to me in the review letters that there were any requests for waivers. Has that changed?
No, you guys went through them and we all talked about it.
Right.
Everyone said will comply, so.
Awesome. That makes life
So much
Changed their
easier.
mind.
How long of a project is this once you get started with construction? How long do you think it'll take?
A project like this typically will take 5 or 6 weeks. We'll tell Jim 8 because of weather. But we can
Okay.
do this in 5.
So not long.
No, not long. But it's frustratingly long. It's much more intrusive than you think because we're not shutting down this is 2 weeks if we shut down the store. But that's not an acceptable solution. So by not closing the store down, it lengthens the construction time considerably.
Okay.
I don't have any other questions. Are we good?
Yeah. This is
Mary,
just
you have anything?
so council's next meeting is the 4th Monday of January, and Mary will prepare a resolution and they'll consider the resolution at their next meeting. And then you can deal with code enforcement for the building permits and whatever
Yes.
other permits you need.
Yeah, we have the permit drawings ready for the door, but Bowler will prepare the permit drawings for the site immediately after this meeting.
One of these days, we're going to figure out how you manage to get things out so fast. 'Cause
It's kitchen staff.
guys are amazing. It's amazing how quick you are.
40 people working a shift.
Really?
They're flying around too. I know it's
Crazy.
Yeah, got some good people.
you do a great job. I know it's hard these days too, getting people.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's, COVID has definitely made that a fun challenge, especially trying to open up in the middle of a pandemic on
Right.
April 15th of 2020, when everyone's supposed to stay home and say, hey, who wants to work?
Well, Horsham Day's June 3rd, so we hope to see you at Horsham Day.
Yes, I know, and I missed it last year. Literally, I signed up for it, and then I had 10 people quit on me.
Maybe
so,
we'll put a
but-
condition on the resolution.
You've been on the Horsham Day your whole life. I mean,
Yeah, I grew up in this area, so I'm a local guy, used to play Horsham Little League over there, so I was, also used to work at the Warrenton Chick-fil-A, so I've done many Horsham days over my lifetime. I was the one who used to bring the ice cream machine over there for the milkshakes and stuff.
Well, wish you lots of luck with everything, and we'll see you back here.
Fourth Monday, it should be a 30-second agenda item from council.
What day?
It's a fourth Monday.
You don't all need to come to that.
Yes, the team does not need to come to that.
Okay. 23rd. 23rd.
At 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Good night.
Thank you, Nick. Almost forgot about that. And I had to build Bowler Engineering.
All right, next is considering a memorandum of understanding to partner with the Eastern Monco Interchange Group.
We have created a Eastern Monco Interchange Group with Montgomery County Planning Commission. You heard a little bit about it when Matt Edmond from the Planning Commission was in front of you on December 14th. And what this coalition is about, it is the Willow Grove Interchange, Turnpike Interchange, the proposed Welsh Road Interchange, and the Virginia Drive Interchange. And the coalition includes, of course, Montgomery County, Abington Township, Hatboro, Horsham Township, Upper Dublin Township, Upper Moreland Township, and Lower Moreland Township. And the coalition is looking to not only help with engineering aspects of the project, but also lobbying for funding from the state and from the Turnpike Commission to get these projects done. And Willow Grove is already moving. Those improvements are in design currently as we speak. So each community, each municipality in the county is putting up $10,000 a year for the next 7 years to hopefully get movement and get these interchanges, the two existing ones, improved, and hopefully get the proposed Welsh Road interchange funded by the Turnpike Commission.
There's no questions. Do we have a motion?
I move to authorize the memorandum of understanding with the Eastern Monco Interchange Group to partner and support the advancement of the designated projects and to provide $10,000 in annual funding for a maximum of 7 years.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next is we have to solicit a bid for Whitman Road Basin.
This is a project, a water quality stormwater project that's part of our MS4 5-year plan. And if you recall, last year you went out to bid for this project. The bids came in over $100,000 over budget. You rejected all those bids. Dennis, who's our MS4 coordinator, along with Gilmore and Associates, they've tweaked the scope of work that we think the bids will come in within budget this time. So we're asking you to authorize to solicit bids at this meeting.
Motion?
I move to authorize the solicitation of bids for the Whitman Road Basin retrofit and further authorize advertisement of the same.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next is review and consider our new park sign design.
So 12 months ago, last January of 2022, Township Council appointed a ad hoc committee to come up with a new design for our park system. As council knows, the redwood wooden signs with the white plastic letters, that design has been in place since the 1960s in Horsham Township. and everyone's felt that it's time to refresh our park signs and make us look more like a metropolitan suburban community. So you appointed an ad hoc committee last January, which consisted of one council person, which was Mr. McCouch, 2 members of our Park and Recreation Board, Janine Saxer and Tracy Ferreri, and myself as staff, Dennis Haggerty, and Kyle Lynch, who is our Assistant Public Works Director, who is his main responsibility is the park and trail system in the township. So that was the committee that council appointed. We then brought on City Signs. They are a local company here in Horsham that has helped us in the past with signage. Actually, the owners live in Horsham too. So they actually did this consulting work with the committee for free of charge. So that was the consultant that we had work with the committee. The committee met from February to July, starting with about 75 signs, looking at 75 different signs. Over the months, they've narrowed it down. This is the sign that they've come up with, the design, and the committee approved it in July of last year. It then got sent to the Park and Recreation Board, who reviewed the sign and voted in October unanimously to approve and recommend this as the new sign for the park system. This is what the sign would look like for Deep Meadow Park, using our branding logo, Horsham, Pennsylvania, the name of the park, the address of the park, and then you can see a little black line after the address of the park. That's a light, an LED solar light. You can see it right here on the side view. That will light up the name of the park and the address for emergency services at nighttime. And then below it, those that have homes like the Little League, the Miracle Field, and then little icons, walking trail, baseball fields, pavilion, playground, fitness area, and then our branding logo of Community Connected. A stone base down at the bottom matches many of our facades of our facilities and buildings that the township owns. The wooden sort of rustic park look up the side, and then on the side, green color, again, park color, rustic color, but also one of our colors of our branding that we did. So it matches this green square up here, which is part of our color system of our branding. And then just to, this is Kohler Park, of what it would look like. And these are some superimposed ones. This is Deep Meadow Park, so behind it is the existing sign. And so it'll be the same sign, about the same width of the existing sign. That's what Deep Meadow Park would look like. This is the entrance to Kohler Park with the guide rail. You can see the old sign behind it and what the new sign would look like in its place. This is what the light looks like that would light up the park's name and address. And then all of our neighborhood parks, our tot lots and playgrounds and parks in the neighborhoods, they would have a scaled down version, about 4.5 feet tall. The wall is about 18 inches. The sign itself is about 36 inches. And this is just an example of what the Maple Park, which is a neighborhood park located in Meeting House Village, would look like. And open for questions and review and consideration of the new signs.
Just to mention that these are not wooden signs.
They are not wooden signs,
Right,
no.
it's a fabricated.
Yeah, it's a plastic, metal, and then the stone down at the bottom.
I'm good with it. How's everybody else, all right? All right, do we have a motion?
Do you have a question?
Yes, sir.
With the sign to Deep Meadow, it says Little League. Is it enough space to make it Horsham Little League?
We can look at that. I think the existing sign now says just Little League, but we can definitely see what space we have.
Yeah, I mean, this is just an example, but we could certainly, when they start the manufacturing, give us the actual look of what it's going to be. I think we probably squeeze it in there, right?
I think so.
Good point. Okay. As far as going forward, we have a motion?
I move to authorize the new design for the township parks per the rendering plan for the city's sign service, Inc. Last revision dated August 26, 2022, and further move to start replacing the existing signage.
Second?
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. One last thing on that bill, that these were not going to all be replaced at one time, correct?
No, we'll phase them in over a few years.
Everybody knows. There being no other items on the agenda, this meeting is adjourned.